Soccio continues in the spirit of Anaximander. He believed that a continuous exchange of opposites can be seen throughout nature, as cold winter becomes warm spring, which becomes hot summer, which becomes cool fall, which becomes cold winter, and on and on. When, for example, hot comes into existence, cold returns to the Empyrean, and vice versa. The single surviving fragment of Anaximander's actual words refer to this continuous mutual destruction of opposites. This is actually Anaximander, quote, "They give justice and reparation to one another for their injustice in accordance with the arrangement of time," unquote. Soccio says it might be superficially sort of reminiscent of Lao-tzu, basically in this sort of, and I mean I got this sort of mental imagery when I read it as well, yin and yang, or these opposites working together. But it's difficult to do this. He says Lao-tzu spoke deliberately in paradoxical language to express what cannot be said, whereas there's this insight and this sort of mystical way of talking about the way, and contradictions take place because it defies our language's ability to capture it, whereas Anaximander rather articulates it with a system of rational argument. At least this is how Soccio discusses it. But I would say more than that, it seems to be more of a literal, less religious, less mystical insight, and more of a quote-unquote rationalistic theory based on finite observations. So I just want to emphasize the literal aspect here, because I do think that there is some things that are very truthful about figurative language sometimes, and I think that you can still be rationalistic with figurative if you use it in a precise manner. So after Thales' legacy, another was influenced by Thales' theory through Anaximander, and his name was Anaximenes, and his birth is unknown. However, his death is recorded to be around 500 BCE. Soccio quotes Anaximenes' notion that the first universal underlying element is air, or what he called, which is a Greek name called pneuma, is the ultimate pervasive spirit that holds the world together. 62 through 63 is where I got that quote. Soccio's side definition, if this is helpful, here follows, where he writes, according to Anaximenes, the ultimate pervasive spirit that holds the world together, semicolon, all things are produced by either rarefaction, which is sort of the reduction or diminution of density, like for example, this could be in gas or air or some sort of earthly material. So rarefaction is a term that is used in physics, talking about acoustics and sound waves and things of that nature, but it's also used in the physical sciences to talk about the material world. And this makes a lot of sense that Soccio would utilize this in regards to the Presocratics, because they are doing natural philosophy, they are doing natural science analyzing and observing the material world, where you see something that is more dense turn into something that is less dense and becomes more porous, becomes more spread apart, right? So for Anaximenes, of the pneuma, rarefaction of the pneuma, or condensation of the pneuma, which creates an order of density, like so: air, fire, wind, cloud, water, earth, and stone. Page 63. This is actually reminiscent of what I find in early sort of Hindu and Jainist Eastern philosophy in general, with the elements. The dialogical and dialectical process we see here is beginning to take form. For example, Thales says one thing, Anaximander says another, and Anaximenes makes another objection, and so there's this dialectical and dialogical process going on in the formulation of theory and knowledge.